Hi, how's everybody doing today? I'm Miss West, and I'm going to be teaching your English class for today. I wanted to start off by asking you guys if you've heard of some of these older cars. I have a list here, and these cars are from the 1960s, so you may or may not heard of them. But there's a Thunderbird. Has anyone heard of that?
Yes.
Okay. Also, there's a Falcon, a Charger, a Comet, a Mustang, and a Barracuda. Have you guys heard of some or most of these cars, or are these new to you?
No, we've heard of them.
Okay. What I want you to do is, when you're thinking of these names and these cars, I know some of them are animals, some of them are just like random words, or comet like in the solar system. What kind of things do you associate with when you hear the word Thunderbird? Like, what do you picture?
A very strong bird.
Right? Well, how about something like Charger? What kind of words do you think of when you hear the word Charger?
Powerful.
Right? That might be a reason maybe they named the car that, possibly. What about if you get to like an animal, like a Mustang or a Barracuda?
Fast.
Okay. So possibly some of the reasons these people came up with the names for these cars in the 60s was something that they wanted to present to the public as what they wanted their cars to be represented as. Now, I have a couple more, and these ones are going to be from the 1970s. There is a Rabbit, which I was not familiar with until I looked it up before my time.
Is that a Volkswagen?
I don't know. Before my time, I'm not that old. A Pinto, which I have heard of. A Colt, a Civic, a Starlet, and a Gremlin. And again, there's an animal name or two, but what do we think of, let's see, Starlet? What does that bring to mind?
Hollywood.
Hollywood, fancy, something cool. What about Gremlin? It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Little Green Goblin.
there you go. And guys are into superheroes, so maybe that's something that they wanted to get across, something cool, that Marvel was big back then. Colt, we know that's a horse, so baby horse, something fast possibly. Same thing for a Pinto, I think. Rabbit's fast. And again, all these things that we're coming up with, it's things you'd want to associate with a car as well, so it kind of makes sense. The performance that you would find from each of these kind of is represented by the names. Now, have any of you heard of the word connotation before?
Yes.
Do you know the definition of it or the meaning? Do you have a guess?
Like the meaning behind an expression.
Yeah, kind of. Good. It's actually like the associations that people make with common words. So, just because a word has a literal meaning, like, let's say, for instance, chicken. Chicken may not always just be something you eat. As an example, I have a slide I'd like to put up on the viewer. I don't know. This is my freaking viewer. These are a bunch of different books with the word chicken in the title, but they're going to have some different meanings. And I'm not sure if you can see everything on here all the way back there. The first one is Chicken Soup for the Preteen Soul. Second one here says The Eggster's Story, Why Did the Chicken Cross the Road? Sound here. This one says The Philadelphia Chickens, and I've never heard of this book, so I'm not really sure. It says it's a musical. It has dancing chickens on it. This is the Chicken Health Handbook with the real chicken on there. Betty Crocker's Best Chicken Cookbook. Chicken Little by Stephen Kellogg, which it's an old kind of bedtime story. Are You Chicken? A Coward's Guide to Roller Coasters. So this is kind of like a handbook. And then Sweet Recipe, Why KFC is Still in Business. And then last one is The Story's Guide to Raising Chickens. Now, all of these books, are they about the same thing?
No.
Okay. So let's do the first one, Chicken Soup for the Preteen Soul. What kind of chicken are you picturing when you think of this book? Or what comes to mind besides chicken, perhaps?
Well, chicken soup is supposed to make people feel better when they're not feeling good.
Okay, so like comforting. And then the chicken who crossed the road, I know to me, I think of that as a joke. So is this going to be a funny book? You know, like I think of rubber chickens or, you know, and then that makes me think of like bananas and peels and slipping and stuff, jokes like that. How about this one where it's
Slapstick.
yeah, comedy. And then how about this one where it's the cookbook? Now we're not picturing, I mean, at least I'm not because I'm an animal lover. I'm not picturing a bunch of chickens on the farm like fluffy with feathers. I'm picturing like, you know, coca bean or, you know, chicken enchiladas. So that's another different connotation we'd have with the word chicken. And then how about this one? Are you chicken down here with guided roller coasters? That's another, like what do we think of if someone calls someone a chicken? What does that mean?
That they're afraid.
Okay, so that's just another definition of like a fraidy cat too. It's another animal we think of the same way. And then I'll just leave this here and you guys can pass it around later. So again, connotation is going to be the different meanings that a word has inferred. It's the associations that you make with the word. Like I said again, a literal meaning is also, you know, something that brings to your mind. It might be the exact definition, but there can be many different connotations as well. And what I'd like to do right now, actually, so that we can try out our own understanding. I know in the beginning I gave you some of these old 1960s, my marker is dying, 1960s cars, 1970s cars. And what I'd like to do is I have a worksheet here called Car Names Connotations. I'll just pass this out to you guys. There you go. And basically on here, I'm going to give you some different names. We're going to pretend that you work at a factory. You can say wherever you want to work. You want to work at Cadillac or Ford or Chevy, whatever, Mercedes. And what you're going to be doing is based on the names on your worksheet given here, I'd like you to come up with some reasons why people would want to buy this car, just based on the name, just based on using connotations or associations with these words. So you want to be asking yourself, who would drive something called this? What does it look like? How big or fast might it be? You know, is it an SUV? Is it a sports car? You know, is it, does it look like a piece of junk? Does it have, what kind of cool features does it have inside? You know, where would you buy this at? Is it something that you need in a blizzard on the mountain or, you know, driving along the coast? Just, you want to ask yourself all those types of things based on these names, based on what these names bring to mind. Who is buying this car and what is this car representing? So as you see, I have given you 9 different examples here, and these are all animal examples because I know we have a lot of animal examples here. How many? Thunderbird, falcon,